this is proof right here, guys. If you're watching this, you will not meet nicer people. Whoop, I'm going to point up.
I am thrilled to be here and excited to just geek out on Star Wars.
It's like, that's Big Darklighter's helmet. So how did you know? Because I'm a nerd.
Tears never left me again. We're such soulmates that her being older and me being older was exactly where we were meant to be.
He pointed to Tim and he went, "We cast you." And I told casting, I said, get Earl Brown to be Conti. Holy shit, I've recreated Deadwood in space.
I like to denote people as daddies from time to time.
Okay.
And I believe that you are a certified daddy. Like Pedro Pascal's a daddy. Like,
All right.
Certified daddy.
There's Mark Hamill, there's Harrison Ford, there's Carrie Fisher. And it's like, okay, we're doing Star Wars.
You have people like Favreau, Filoni, who are like, super fans, like everyone on the Zooms.
I love the Han Solo movie, and then of course I love The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian to me is made from people who love Star Wars.
I think I'm the only person who's ever written Star Wars for film, television, books, and comics.
And the Rancor bit hit, and I went running out of the theater, screaming my head off.
Coming back to a show that I dearly love and admire, so thanks for having me.
But I was doing my research, and Wedge was obviously a character that you had to use if you were going to do Rogue Squadron.
You? Don't do that. There is no try.
I've placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit.
Those, but I got to do some sound-alike work for 3PO and Mandalorian. This is the way.
Because Darth Vader was the scariest thing that had ever happened to anybody, and this guy literally looks like the devil.
I need to see this right now.
I'll send you a picture.
Share it in the chat.
All right,
come on now. Thought we were doing a show here.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh, I have found my home. I have found my people.
The galaxy isn't growing to push people out. It's growing to let more people come in and find their love.
Steve is really the father of modern Star Wars collecting.
I remember taking both of those clips over to England to show them to George, as well as an early Watto test. And it was there that we made a pitch that Jar Jar be fully digital.
And then you're just sitting with her as she's making dinner, outside of an abandoned AT-AT, at AT-AT, sorry.
I have had the best time ever on Around the Galaxy. Thank you so much.
You just put out a roll call of incredible people.
Yes, it's a good thing. It's a great thing.
Lightsabers hum, they light up the night. Pete and Nick keep the galaxy bright. From Tatooine sands to Endor trees, they're bringing the news with galactic ease. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door. From Vader's breath to Grogu's charms, theories and chats, they keep us disarmed. Around the galaxy tonight, Chris and Kelsey keeping it tight. They're breaking news like a Death Star blast, taking your calls and reading your chats. The greatest guests and what you need to know. Pete and Nick lead the Star Wars show. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door.
We're home.
Well, welcome to ATGLive, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. It feels like Friday because tomorrow is the 4th, but it's Thursday, and it's still your home for all things Star Wars. Thank you, Matt. I am so old that I sat behind Jesus in 2nd grade. Yes, and I cheated off his papers. Damn it. Yeah. So I'm joined, as always, I'm Pete Fletcher. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Nick Milky. Nick, what's going on, brother?
Well, it is Thursday night, and it is a big night. It's an important night. We are celebrating you because your birthday is right here around the corner. So I had to dress up. I had to wear my very fancy tuxedo t-shirt because, you know, we dress for occasion around here. As Alec Baldwin once famously said, it's after 6. What am I, a farmer? We dress in coats and ties and t-shirt things. I'm great. I'm here. We were off last week, or I was off last week, and I'm excited to be back in the chair and doing what we like to do.
Yeah, we had a replay of Marty and McGee. No, not the whole show, just Ryan from ESPN. And speaking of dressing up, I want to thank my good friend and it's upside down. Matt from Enid sent this to me to wear, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to put it off to the side so I don't spill my beer on it. But yeah, we have a great show tonight. Nick, tell us a little bit about our show this evening.
We have a lot of fun things going on. We are going to celebrate your birthday a little bit later towards the end of the show, so everybody stick around for that. We're going to get to the news in our Around the Galaxy segment, as we have been doing for several weeks now. And I'm very excited because we have a special guest tonight. We have Alexis Sterling. Allie is a actor, writer, producer, creative. She also is a high school classmate of my lovely wife, and her husband Mari has been on with us a bunch of different times, doing, you know, talking about his adventures, voicing the male smuggler in the Star Wars video games, and just being a huge Star Wars fan as well. So, as Mari has said to me on multiple occasions, he said, I love Star Wars. He's like, but you need to get Allie on. She's the Star Wars fan. So I'm excited to get to talk to her a little bit about her fandom, what it means in her career. And she's going to play the news game with us. So we're going to have fun tonight.
That's really cool. And by the way, you'll notice we have our new feature on our site where we will be running your comments all night just up there. So go ahead, put up whatever you want up there. Just remember that sometimes kids might watch the show. But hey, you do you. We don't watch it from a language perspective, so whatever. Anyway, we want to keep you involved. We want you to check out our website at the sswnetwork.com. Follow us on the socials. And Nick, I'm really excited because we have just launched a brand new shop. I'm going to add it to the stage here. I'm going to walk you through it real quick. We cleaned up some of the merch. We had literally 35 different designs, and
we had a lot of ridiculous designs we have been kind of hoarding over the years of silly comments, things that we turned into shirts and mugs and stickers.
Right. So we've reduced it. We've made it a little easier. We've changed some of the pricing around. You can still use the code, I think, Shield10 to get 10% off. We have the Is It at or 80 AT. We have the base solo, Please Don't. We also have Weird Space Friends everywhere. I have Weird Space Friends everywhere, taking full advantage of that. I love that one. We also have Star Wars is great. So I watched it when I woke up this morning, and I'll probably watch more later. We also have a t-shirt version of this, and my favorite shirt. This is our deluxe original Shill t-shirt. It's available in multiple colors. It says the original Shill on the front. On your left shoulder, you got the SSWN logo, and then on the back you have all our shirts. So this is our deluxe Shill graphic t-shirt, only $32.99, available if you just go to the website and just go to the merchandise button, and then you can see all the stuff. So that's about it. Nick, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that we got from our friends at DK Books, because we are shills. We both got copies of the Acolyte visual guide. Now I just put my full review up on the website, so if you want to go to the website and read in detail, and also get a link to buy it on Amazon.com. But Nick, I want to get your take on this book, because I haven't heard from you what you thought about it. I gave you a little bit of my thoughts, but what were your thoughts on this book, which just came out?
This book for me, and we've had some mixed conversations about the Acolyte. I really do like the Acolyte as a show. I wish that, it had gone differently the way I like a lot of shows I love. I wish parts of it had gone differently. I do think it's a good Star Wars show. I think it belongs, in the canon of the things we have. excuse me.
Hang in there.
The thing I love about this book is what I love about so many of this style of book, the visual dictionaries, the complete guides, the encyclopedias. It gives you the chance to dig in, and honestly, it helps you connect with it even more. We've talked about kids getting those old vintage, the blueprint packets that had like the 30 different blueprints, and I could flip through it and look at the Millennium Falcon. I could look at, what is the Death Star, the cutaways. But this does the same thing. It gives you the ability to look at, what did the stranger have? What was he carrying in his bag? What were all the different things? And it's beautifully done. Of course, it's done by our friend Pablo Hidalgo. But it's just, it adds to the mind.
We both went to the same
literally
page.
the same page.
That's for Matt from Enid. Matt is a big Basil fan, or Basil. Or
Big Basil fan. But I think it's great. And I'm so thankful that DK sent it to us. And if you like the Acolyte at all, if you like this style of book, the reference books, you're collecting them, you're putting them on your coffee table, whatever you're doing with them, I highly encourage you to go pick this one up. Because it is every bit as good as all the other ones that are out there. It's got all the things you want to see. You want to be like, tell me about the Pip droid. Let me learn some more about what it does. It's got the descriptions. And I mean, that cover's pretty legit in and of itself. Cool. To get the stranger's mask. If you want to be scared at night, or here's my plan for you, friends. Order this book.
Right.
Then go put it inside like a kitchen cabinet. And then just turn the light off. And the next time your spouse walks in there, just getting a glass of water, it's going to scare the crap out of them. And it'll be fun.
That's fair. I will tell you I love the book. Honestly, I think the book is great. It fits in with all the other ones, right? And that's one of the things I say in the full review on the website at the sswnetwork.com. You can find it. I really do love what it does. I mean, it stands up next to the solo ones, the sequel trilogies, the Mandalorian visual guides, all those things. But it makes me wish so much more that the Acolyte was more of what I wanted, because looking at that, you realize it really was all the Star Wars that you needed and wanted. And the fact that it didn't click with me hurts a little bit more when I look at this book. Sure. But yeah, I mean, if you're a collector of the visual guides, you have to own it. And if you love the Acolyte, and I know so many people did, and I'm really happy about that. If you love the Acolyte, you need to get this book. It's something you need to add to your collection. So yeah. So let's see what else. What's next on the list here?
Well, it would not be a Thursday night at this show at ATGLive, and we've demonstrated this in the recent past.
True.
If we don't have help from our amazing producers, Chris and Kelsey. The last time they were both gone, you and I made a royal mess of everything that was going on. So we're bringing them in. Kelsey, how are you this evening?
Doing all right. As you notice, I've got a new background. Just left coast. Just flying all over the galaxy right now.
Well,
so.
any background that contains Sean Connery and an Emmy award that is actually yours is not insignificant by any stretch. So
I mean, I thought about taking the Sean Connery down, because I am in my childhood bedroom, but he looks glorious up there. So.
Totally works. And we have the static version of Chris Ryan's tonight. Chris is having some camera issues, but as always, he is here ready to keep us in line. Christopher, how are you, my friend?
It's still
Pete.
Yes. I couldn't get the visual cue.
It works even when he doesn't have a camera.
It actually almost works better because it's a little more shocking. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Here's what I need from you.
Okay.
In particular, it's kind of a reverse birthday present.
Okay.
I need you to give me yours in particular, not Nick's.
Okay.
Yours. Give me that Acolyte book. You know why?
Yes, because I have bad-mouthed it.
Book to me.
Yes,
I can give it the love, care, and attention that it deserves.
Right.
And I will shower it with compliments.
I think Pete was talking about his podcast. His podcast desk has an uneven leg. I think he was going to wedge it under there to keep it from wobbling.
Nick, why? That's hurtful, man.
I'm just trying to get Pete in trouble. It's okay.
No, it's working. It's working.
Well, you know what, Chris? If you
I will drive up to Jersey right now.
You don't need to drive up to Jersey, but if you tell people how they can order stuff from Broaxium BroXMAtpost.com, I will send you this book. I absolutely will.
Oh, please just go to broxmpost.com. We've got Star Wars comic books and what am I doing, Lando? And and action figures and more on the way. Fantastic. Now give me the book.
All right, you got it. Just come in. I'm going to put it in the mail ASAP. Won't be tomorrow though, because tomorrow's a federal holiday. Speaking of federal and the government and reasons to drink, Nick, why don't you bring us into our toast for the new month? What do we
I will
got?
gladly do so. In fact, I'm going to remove Chris and Kelsey just so we can get the video up on the screen.
Bye, guys.
It is a new month. We have, for any of you who are tuning in new, first and foremost, welcome. We're always glad to have new people hanging out with us. We do a monthly themed action figure beer chug as a means of a toast at the top of every show. It started several years ago, silly enough, with Snoketoberfest in the month of October. You drop a Snoke action figure in your beer. You try to drink it before the little clip from Rise of Skywalker. I've been every voice you've ever heard inside your head. And then it has changed from there. We have Darth Simber, Jando Danuary, Boba Fettuary, Imperial March, Dr. Afrel, depending on how you want to say that. It was Millennium Falcon. And last month, of course, was June Urso.
Yep.
It's a new month. It is the month of July. And sometimes these get challenging and we have to figure out what is the one. This one came from our patrons in a group message. I am proud to announce that it is, in fact, July Jar Binks is the month that we are going to be chugging in. It's equally as silly and dumb as all the rest of them. Here's the fatal flaw I have made at the start of this month before we get to our toast. I don't have a Jar Jar action figure and I didn't have time to get one before tonight started. So in order to make up for it, I apologize. I decided to get creative. So I split my beer into 2 mason jars. So it is going to be a Jar Jar chug. We're still in the neighborhood. It's not July Jar. I don't have a figure, but it is a Jar Jar chug. So as we get ready, yes, go ahead.
Is it going to be like you're going to drink one and then the other? Is that
they're going one right behind each other? I'm not the wrestler. I forgot his name. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't, pound to it. It'll just be all over me. But we're going to go one right after another. We're still going to try and get it done before the video clip ends. Chris made our video clip and did a great job as always. So I'm going to raise my glasses, plural, tonight, not only to Pete and his birthday, who we will also toast a little bit later on. But we got news, I think this morning, that actor Kenneth Colley died. If you know Kenneth Colley or know that name, he was Admiral Piet in The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi, which is certainly a significant character. We know the Wrath, he commanded Darth Vader's ship, was a great, character in those movies. But honestly, for me, and I had forgotten this until I was reading one of the articles about it, he also played Jesus in the wonderful Monty Python movie, The Life of Brian. If you have never watched The Life of Brian, stop what you're doing. This show will be on again later. The Life of Brian is fantastic.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. And so Kenneth Colley, a great lost part of the Star Wars community, and we're sorry for him and his family. We hope he is resting now. So we're going to raise our July Jar Binks toast to Kenneth Colley, and happy July Jar Binks to you all.
And here we go.
You said not even gonna believe it. Joey, we win the money.
He did it.
Thinks me broke me bad spine.
Well, Nick once again proves that he is, doesn't matter how you put the beer out there, he's going to finish it. And so, yeah.
It is a Jar Jar toast.
It was 2 jars. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break so we can bring in our guest who's been waiting patiently.
Patiently through all of this.
Sitting through this going, what have I agreed
What did I
do?
agree to? Exactly.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more ATG Live. Well, hello. We're back. I just got to say it before I turn it over to you, Nick. Go buy this stuff at broaxiom.com. I say it every week. I'm going to continue to say it. ATGLive, the SSW network, is brought to you by broaxiomoutpost.com, where you can get anything Star Wars that you need. He-Man, you can get G.I. Joe. Go to broaxiom.com, broaxiomoutpost.com, and use the code ATG10 for 10% off your first order. Now, back to you, Nick.
Well, that was a perfect segue because I came back from the break, being the professional I am, muted once again.
That's quite right.
We know what we're doing around here. Yes, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all kinds of Star Wars nonsense, whether it's chugging beers with action figures or chugging beers out of 2 jars without an action figure. Whatever it is, we're here for you. And tonight, we are really excited to bring on a special guest. Our guest tonight is Alexis Sterling. Allie is a actor, writer, producer. She has been in, I just lost my page. She's been in TV shows such as Leap Year and Emma Approved. She was also in the movie Hide in the Light. I'm sorry. She has worked on the TV series Autobiography. I don't know if y'all watch that. If you like cars, it is a fantastic biographical series about cool cars, and it's phenomenal. She was a producer on that. She works as a vehicles content creative for Mattel. And as we mentioned earlier, she is the super cool mom to Ford. And she is also married to our friend Mari Sterling, who has been on the show with us several times. And probably coolest of all, she went to high school with my lovely wife, Laura. They graduated together, and she knew how cool Laura was before I did. So I am very thrilled to welcome tonight to ATG Live, Alexis Sterling. You're here. You made it. You put up with all of our nonsense.
I'm excited to be here.
We are so glad you're here. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming, and I am thrilled and a little nervous.
Hey, there's nothing to be nervous about. This is, if you haven't noticed from the top of the show, we don't know what we're doing, and we're just here to have fun.
I have known since high school how cool your wife is. She has also known how nerdy I am. So here we go. Now we're just going to put it out there for everybody else.
It's a match made in heaven. Everything works. Well, we are thrilled that you are here. I told you when we were texting earlier this week that I was going to drop a little surprise on you, and I'm just going to talk about it for a second. It's not a surprise. When Mari was on last time, we had the old Bud Light commercial that was a lot of fun. On your IMDb, pretty prominently, there's a picture of you with Joshua Molina presenting an award at an award show. And of course, that popped for me because I'm a huge West Wing fan and I love Joshua Molina and the stuff he did. So it was just that moment where I was like, hey, I know her. And it's that guy. Anything fun from getting to present an award with Joshua Molina from the West Wing?
Sure. I mean, I'm a huge West Wing fan, and that's actually the creator of the show Leap Year was a big fan of West Wing as well. And when we were making Leap Year, we had a bunch of sort of like our central cast was all kind of like renegade web folks. And and they, Yuri just took a stab in the dark and was like, what if I asked Josh Molina to be in the show? And he said yes. So he joined the cast of Leap Year. And once he signed on, we got Eliza Dushku and Steven Weber and a bunch of other crazy cool people. And so Josh and I presented together at the Streamies that year as part of the Leap Year cast. He was a dream to work with, especially since I was already such a huge fan.
Very cool. Well, that I would hope that falls into that category of, you admire an actor or somebody, a personality, and then you get to meet them and they're not, a butthead or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's a dream. And just also one of those cool stories of like, when you just write a personal note of like, I'm a filmmaker and I really, really think you're just top of your game. Would you consider being in this? Like, people will actually show up. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Amazing. Well, we are going to spend a little bit of time talking about some Star Wars. We want to talk about your career. We've got some questions lined up, and then we're going to play our news game here in a little bit. First of all, obviously, this is first and foremost primarily a Star Wars show. Can you tell us what was that moment when you first connected with Star Wars as a kid? As I have said before, Mari said, I love Star Wars. She's a bigger Star Wars fan than I am. When did you first connect with it? Was it a scene, a movie, a character? Kind of what pulled you in, and how has it stuck with you going forward?
Controversial entry into Star Wars. I had 2 older cousins who were both huge Star Wars fans. So they got us into it. They had all the toys. They had the Falcon. I don't remember my first connection or my first introduction, but I do remember I had this tiny little plastic table when I was very small, like maybe kindergarten-y age, and I had this little plastic table. My mom would give me my snacks after school, and I could watch. I'm assuming I was watching Return of the Jedi. I was an Ewoks fan because I was small enough to that was my entry point. But so that's what I remember from being a kid. I do remember the Ewok movie also as part of that. But definitely Return of the Jedi.
That's
and then my taste evolved and it stuck with me.
I think that's as natural an entry point as any, certainly for kids and Ewoks and those kind of connections.
I'm actually
also went back. Ewok movie is terrifying. I tried to rewatch it recently to be like, can my kid see this? And like, no, my kid cannot see it.
Not at all.
And he has already seen, episodes 1 through 4, 5, 6. So yeah, no, I'm not letting him watch the Ewok movie.
Yeah, I mean the first one is scary. It's got the big monster thing and the witches, and then the second one, the kids' parents get murdered in the first 4 minutes of the show. Like
it's wild. Like I didn't recall it. I blocked all that out from childhood.
It's like it makes Bambi look like kind of calm. It's just bam, they're gone. But yeah, no, it's actually kind of interesting. So I've noticed lately a lot of people we've talked to about Star Wars, like their start was Return of the Jedi. I did not realize how that, like, I guess if you were born before the first movie came out, you were probably at the right age, and that's kind of the right one to start with. Because when you're, if you're 7 or 10 years old, you don't need to know the previous story. You just want to see the Ewoks and the spaceships and the lightsabers and stuff. So, but so you've done writing and producing and a lot of really cool stuff. If you could create a character, whether to play yourself or to introduce into the Star Wars universe, where would you go with that? What kind of what era would you play? What kind of character would you be interested in creating?
Wow.
Yeah. Only the easy questions here on ATGLive.
That's an amazing question. Of all the questions I thought y'all might ask, that's not one of them. I mean, I think the beautiful thing about Star Wars, and probably why I've hung on for so long and it continues to entertain me and why it inspires me as a storyteller too, is that it has really strong female characters. It's why I'm here. So I think it would probably still be somewhat in that vein. Another strong female character. I love all the action from Star Wars. I'd love to see. I mean, I don't know how you see something you haven't seen before with some of the females that we've had, but that's where I would start. And I'd pull on that thread.
So I'm going to ask a potentially controversial question. If it gets controversial, we'll throw it out the window and start again. But what's your thoughts on Rey as leading this new generation of Star Wars?
It's an interesting question. Someone asked me recently if I was a prequels or a sequels. And I was like, well, sequels. And then the more I talked about it, the more I was like, I'm into Rey, but she's not the torchbearer for me.
That's fair.
I'm a big Jyn Erso fan.
Okay, cool.
And I feel like she just has a little something that Rey lacks for me.
That's fair. That's cool.
Feels mean and pitting them both against each other, but
no, but it's I mean, and it's funny because like Rey worked, and maybe it's because of it's an age thing, right? Because my daughter, when she was, gosh, I guess when the prequels came or the sequels came out, this was what 6-7 years ago, so she was 7 or 8, and she latched right onto Rey. Like she was in her princess stage, so she was making her own Rey costumes and just going all that. Now she doesn't care about Star Wars. She makes fun of me for liking it still at this point, but it's, I think the younger generation, that might have even been their first movie experience with Star Wars. So at that point, that's what they hooked onto. And I think Jyn has a little bit more gusto, a little bit more, she's got a little bit more maturity to her. So maybe that's where that comes in. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think that kind of goes in that range. So,
well, and I think that works, and it plugs into kind of one of the next questions that I wanted to put, in front of Allie. we talked about, strong female character, certainly, being an attraction. Shirley, you were a Leia fan growing up. I love, Jen Erso. That's another great one. You have worked in Hollywood as an actor, as a producer. You have been connected to a lot of different things, and you are a female. Talk about the challenges of being in an industry. We talk about challenges every time a new Star Wars something comes out and there's a female in it. Half the fandom loses their mind because they're idiots, and the rest of us are like, holy crap, this is awesome, we need this. But behind the scenes, working in the movie and TV industry as a female and doing these talk about some of the challenges you faced and maybe the positivity that you've seen that encourages you to continue to do the things you're doing.
I feel like I've been really fortunate. I feel like I haven't had worst case scenario situations as a female in this business. As an actor, I think you just, or an actress, I think you're just what you're going to walk into, and you steel yourself against it. When I started producing, I started as a line producer, and then I moved into the DGA as a UPM. And that is a position that is not for women, or traditionally has not been. And that was a generally unfriendly place when I first started. It was also very young to be at UPM. So the DGA was making a move to try to get more women signed up, and I was game to train, and it was a slog. And it was to have so many years under my belt already in entertainment and feel a little bit like I was starting over and just getting nasty comments or getting ignored. A lot of being ignored was frustrating. And I think just like everything, you find the right people. I mean, the good thing is a UPM is usually in charge of hiring. So I was able to hire a crew that didn't mind that I was a female. And then I think it's, in the most recent part of my career to sort of do a career shift into staying in entertainment, but moving to a toy company. What's really interesting is that when you work for a toy company, I mean, Mattel just employee breakdown is just about 50% women. So I work with a lot of women. My team on the vehicles team is mostly women, which is exciting. But I think we just also recognize the purchasing power of women maybe more than we do in entertainment, even though women are buying movie tickets every time a female-led movie comes out, and we're all shocked that women go to the movies. I don't know why it's still breaking news, but I do like being in this little niche of the entertainment company where because we're a toy brand, we are definitely recognizing the female audience, and so that helps us drive female-led content.
That's amazing. And working at Mattel, you're working on vehicle stuff, and we know that Mattel is, cars, and there's so many different things and brands and connections that you've made. And we've talked a little bit about this just in text over the last little bit that you've been there. How has some of your background, where you came from, connecting to what you're doing now, kind of informed what you're doing? Is there some past experiences that have fed into where you find yourself, and has that, what does that look like?
Sure. Well, a lot of it has been, I mean, I've taken the lead on some new projects. So I had never done kids content before. So that was a new venture for me. That's how I was brought into Mattel to work for Hot Wheels and Matchbox. And then because I'd worked in automotive space before, I was like, where do the adult fans come to find Hot Wheels content? And was shocked to find out we didn't have any, or we didn't have a dedicated team. So we now do. We now have our own adult audio enthusiast YouTube channel. So that's cool. Really exciting. It's in our second year, and I lead the creative on that. So that's super fun and a pet project, and it's going well. And then in terms of like my other background, this isn't something that I led, but 2 years ago we had a new toy line called Racerverse, where it's drive your favorite characters from entertainment IP, and Star Wars is included in that. So I clamored for that to make sure I got to be on that show when we had a corresponding content deal. So got to do that as well, which lights up my inner nerd, not just for Star Wars, but for a bunch of other IP too.
Sure.
So that's super fun.
Yeah, the Hot Wheels line has. It was funny when I was a little kid. Me and my brother were Matchbox kids, and then we came up, and Hot Wheels got really smart about the way they engaged with different IPs. Right, it became like even I have a couple of the old Hot Wheels ships, the Star Wars ships, and actually there's a couple over there, and yeah, there's the Falcon, and so how do you? It may be too complex of a question, but where's the line drawn between what? Because I know, for example, Funko, the reason Star Wars Funkos are bobbleheads is because the action figure license is already given. But if they weren't bobbleheads, they'd be action figures. So how do you kind of draw that line between those two different organizations? Because frankly, I might like some of the Hot Wheels stuff, the Mattel stuff, more than the other lines, just because there's detail and they're fun, and some of them are super whimsical and that sort of thing. So how does that work?
I mean, I think and I don't get to have much insight into the licensing deal side of it, but I think, I mean, first of all, it's cyclical. Like I know we have certain licenses, and then we don't have certain licenses, and then we're clamoring to get them back, and then when we do, we change it a little bit. So I think there's that, and I think a lot of it too. I mean, there's so many companies out there clamoring for those rights that are super interesting and can think, are probably also small enough to think outside the box and pitch some creative things like Funko, and so you get some creative ideas, and there gets to be space for lots of different players, which only ends up helping the larger toy companies elevate their game too. So I think the way I've seen it, even just in the few years I've been at Mattel, evolve is super interesting. So
that's great. Yeah, it is. Really, I mean, it's the licensing thing is interesting, because I always look at it, I'm like, is there anything that Lucasfilm will not agree to? I mean, there's like they're now at that point where you can get a Grogu on, I don't know, just about anything. So I'm starting to think maybe the stamp is just sitting there and they're just putting it through.
Well, and it's a reminder why we're thankful for things like Rancho Obi-Wan, where Steve Sansweet has literally essentially made it his life's work to try and collect and catalog as many of these things that literally cover everything from the weird, the foreign knockoff action figures from the 80s, which are so wild and crazy, up through, like you said, Grogu toothpaste, or, Mandalorian breakfast sausages, whatever it is that you're going to get, at your local anywhere. It's all out there, but it's neat that you get the opportunity to connect that. And I think it's so fascinating to be in a space where your personal fandom, not even like you said, just for Star Wars, the flamethrower. Exactly. We've got some Spaceballs fans in the chat. But to get to cross those lines, to get to work in something, and you have a young child. And so also to be as a mom and to see it, through a kid's eyes and firsthand, to have those connections to it, it has to be really neat and special to get to have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back from our break, it is going to be time to go around the galaxy for our weekly news Star Wars game. Allie's going to hang out and do that with us. Chris is going to be back. Kelsey's going to be here, as always, to read the questions and assign points arbitrarily based on the answers we give. Kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? But at the end of it, one of us is going to win and get 60 seconds to just say whatever we want. So we will be right back with more ATG Live.
galaxy again. Welcome to the segment where our producer, Kelsey, clearly the most powerful being in the galaxy, selects this week's most overhyped Star Wars news from our website and forces a panel of organic life forms to argue about it. Loudly. For points. That she gives out. However she wants. This makes no sense to me at all. This week's special guest will also join the chaos, pretending that their opinions matter, while Kelsey quietly calculates who lives, who dies, and who gets muted. And at the end, the so-called winner gets 60 seconds of uninterrupted airtime, because that's what this show needs. More talking. So, hold on to your motivator and brace for impact. This is Around the Galaxy. Do I have to say it? Do I really? Roger, Roger.
Well, here we are in Around the Galaxy. I got the people in the wrong places, but that's okay. Welcome to the crazy part of the show. Again, tip of the hat to our good friend Clinton Yates and everybody at ESPN who created Around the Horn. And this is an unapologetic approach to hitting the news. You know, every week there's more Star Wars news than people even realize. I saw somebody post today, it's been a quiet news week. No, it really hasn't. If you're out there, there's a lot going on. So just this is what we do. We hand it over to Kelsey. She tells us some interesting stories and then gets our opinions and then mocks us or gives us points or whatever. How are you doing, Kelsey?
I'm all right. I see the chat's already clamoring to give you some like pity points, but like it's kind of tough when like we've got another strong like female character here. It's like I don't know. I might be leaning one way or the other. Let's see.
I know.
Yeah, no. I know it's your birthday show, but I'll try.
No
my
pity.
best to
No
be
pity.
fair.
Because I will do my best.
All right. So I'll go ahead and let you start with the first one, Pete. So
All right.
Coca-Cola is teaming up with Star Wars in the Refresh Your Galaxy campaign, including 30 limited edition designs. Are you excited to collect any of these cans?
No, I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. I had for years unopened Pepsi cans from from the Phantom Menace. From the prequels. There was the big Frito-Lay Pepsi thing. Because I think there's like holograms and stuff you can do with it. I'll probably look. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna collect them. I'm not gonna be on the lookout for them. But I guarantee when I walk into 7-Eleven or something this week and I see one there, I'm gonna get a couple of them and play with them. But it's not. Let me put it this way: it's not driving me to become a Coke drinker or anything like that. So
well, this is a Diet Coke household, so I started you at -5. All right.
Okay.
What about
Seems
what
about
about
right.
you, Allie? Are you excited at all about this?
You know, I famously quit Diet Coke in 2009 and I didn't think that anything would bring me back, but I do like the idea that I can QR code my way into a hologram to send to someone. I might fall for it.
All right. Roger. What about you, Chris? You excited at all?
Kelsey, when I was in Japan back in '99, right before Phantom Menace hit screens over there, stores were packed with Pepsi bottles that had like little action figures on the top of the bottle caps. Wherever I went, wherever store that had them, I bought them all. And
shocking.
And I bought so much I had to leave clothes behind because there was no space. So and then in Celebration 3, when all the M&Ms and this and that, they had all the Star Wars stuff. Trust me, I jacked myself up because I had to empty these bags of M&Ms that had Anakin and Obi-Wan and all that on it. So yes, I will be I will be getting them. I don't know if I'm gonna be drinking them or anything like that, but I will be getting them. Yes.
Okay. I love it. Nick?
So Star Wars has a long history with marketing and connections and crossovers. We just talked about that a minute ago. I think it makes all the sense in the world. And honestly, it feels very comforting in a time where we talk about Star Wars toys like are they going to put we're waiting for the Acolyte figures. We're waiting for, things are coming out later. It's kind of fun to see, especially right now where there's not necessarily like a big specific Star Wars thing going on. Andor is over, but this isn't even Andor specific. This is 30 different designs and characters. It's kind of fun to just see Star Wars doing something with a brand for the sake of doing something with a brand, which I really love about that. I do have, my oldest child is a diehard Coca-Cola fanatic, not only drinking it, but collecting it, the Americana, the everything, and a hardcore Anakin stan. So there's a lot of excitement in my house for collecting certainly that one. And I have to agree with Allie too. If I can, hit that QR code and make a Star Wars style hologram. I don't know if y'all remember, but FaceTime, or I think FaceTime did that. One of the filters in the earlier versions of FaceTime was you could make yourself look like the Star Wars hologram, at least on like the MacBook version. But it's fun, and we should have fun with Star Wars. And so I think this is a great way to go and plug some folks into something that like, oh, look, a Star Wars thing, because one of our 70-something-year-old dads may buy a Star Wars Coke and go, you know what I got the other day? And it's going to make them think about Star Wars. So it's fun. Why not?
It is interesting too, because it's not related to any particular event happening, which is kind of cool too. So
yeah.
That's neat. I'm just trying to get above -5 points, Gil.
Yeah, no, I do feel bad for you, kind of, but
No,
like, I mean,
I
you
think
like
don't.
right away like attacked like a brand I support.
All right. Brand loyalty.
I'll stick with you, Nick. So
Yes.
Bryce Dallas Howard recently expressed interest in directing a Star Wars movie. Based on what we've seen from her work on Mandalorian, do you think she should be picked to direct a film?
I cannot express enough how much yes this needs to happen. Like, I will rip the eyelashes out of my face if we don't give Bryce Dallas Howard something to do in Star Wars, because she's already done it. And she says in that article, her family connections, her dad working with George Lucas on American Graffiti, growing up with the Lucas family, she understands it. She recognizes the legacy of it. And to be perfectly honest, the episodes of Mandalorian and the other things that she's directed and been a part of have been some of my absolute favorite ones. I think she's incredibly talented. And I know if you dug back through our archives, which surely you have something better to do with your time, you would hear me say on record multiple times before, please give Bryce Dallas Howard more to do in Star Wars. I'm 100% in support of that.
Roger.
What do you think, Allie?
I totally agree. I love her. I think she's done a great job in the episodic work she's already done. And just to throw some snark in here, I think she'll do a better job than her dad did.
We got some spiciness there. All right, we like it.
Roger.
All right, Pete, you want to try and get some points back?
I'll try. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I agree. Hi, Kelly. Can't yell at you. Why? That's just weird. We have to talk about that offline.
It's a thing at my house. We don't have time to get into it.
Yes, give her a movie. And why is she having to ask publicly? Like, I feel like Lucasfilm, why haven't you already told her she's got one? Don't make her ask on the Today Show to do a Star Wars movie. So yes, give it to her. She has done some of the best television. She's earned it. I think it's a sin that Filoni's getting a movie before her, because he makes good cartoons, but I don't know that he's doing great in television. So yeah. So Chris, I'll keep the book. I don't care. But no, I think
my car now.
Yeah, give her a movie right now.
Roger.
All right. I got you out of the negatives just because you did bring up like they should have just given her one already.
Yes.
I feel like Chris, you got some strong opinions here.
Yeah, it who came up with this question? It's not a matter of should she direct the movie? It's how many should she direct? Like, what are we?
Right.
Who? Was that you? Did you come up with this question?
I did not.
Learned his lesson. Pete stays away from the questions.
Why is it always my fault?
She's amazing, and she's done nothing but good Star Wars since she's come on. So yeah, absolutely, give her all the yes, give her all the movies.
And I'll just say too, just to tag onto that, you're exactly right, Chris. Everything she's done when she's been connected to Star Wars has been great. And if you need any further evidence, and we said this in the first season after Mandalorian, that whole series of all the behind the scenes director episodes, like there were as many of those, I think, almost as there was episodes of season 1 of The Mandalorian. in any of those ones, when she's sitting at that round table, the director's round table, and the different ones, listening to her talk about it, you could hear the passion, you could hear her involvement. It wasn't a job. It was a job, but it wasn't just a job. It was a long-term something that she's been a part of her whole life on some level or another, and it just shows in what she does.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick here with Chris since he's the toy guy. So the next bit of news is exciting to me as a huge fan of the show Legion. I even wore my Legion shirt from Comic-Con. I don't know if you see that. Yep. But yeah, so Dan Stevens is joining Lego Rebuild the Galaxy as Solitus, a Duros Sith wielding chained purple lightsabers. What is your excitement level for this new development in the Star Wars and Lego universe?
Well, it's a new show or feature that's got the word Star Wars stamped onto it. So I'm through the roof. Yeah, through the roof. I at first glance I'm like, who's Dan Stevens? And I had to look him up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm all about it. Let's do it, because I mean, they have not done wrong by these Lego shows yet. So yeah, I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Roger.
All right, Allie, our other toy person in the chat. So, what do you think?
This one hurts. The content out there that makes me the most jealous is Lego. Rebuild the Galaxy is insane. The fact that LFL let them do that is insane. It's so good. Working on Star Wars AP, they send you Cole. I forget, is Cole Horton? Is that his name? They send you the gatekeeper who's like, don't misspell this, and this is capitalized, and you can't show the Force, and like the fact that Lego is trusted enough to turn the galaxy on its head and make good guys bad guys and bad guys good guys. Like, I don't understand how they get, and they do it well. And if I could make anything, so that's what I'd make. They are so good at what they do. And Dan Stevens is awesome in everything. He's so crazy talented. So yeah, I'm jealous of that one. I'll be the first to watch it.
Roger.
What about you, birthday boy?
Well, every Lego thing I just absolutely love. I have become, I think I've replaced my helmet obsession with Legos. And so I love to build them. I love every Lego show because I love, just as Ali was saying, like the Lucasfilm, it feels like it's the only thing that they kind of just turn around and go, you guys just do whatever you want with it. Go have some fun. And so I've loved it. I loved the first Rebuild the Galaxy. I thought that was so clever and so well done and so much fun. And Bobby Moynihan as Jedi Bob, you can't go wrong with that. So just to quote our good friend Chris here, gimme, bring it on.
Yep.
All right, Nick, bring us home on this one.
So it's hard to not agree on a question like this because it's Lego and it's Star Wars and they go together. And so I'm not going to disagree. I'm going to agree with what everyone has said. But I do want to key in just for a second. And Allie kind of hit it on the head. First of all, months ago, we got a chance to talk to Paul Scheer. And Paul talked about, the stuff that he tried to do and the after Darth, the late night Darth Vader talk show humorist. And it got shut down. And essentially the word that came down the line was Star Wars isn't funny. And we heard things like, when they stopped doing, we see all the videos of the dancing stormtroopers and Mandalorians at Disney, and they stopped doing all that stuff because there was a point when Star Wars and Lucasfilm kind of went, this is serious and it's not humorous, and it's not whatever. But Lego doesn't have to follow those rules. And I think that's what makes it really fun. I mean, JP said in the chat, give me more Palpatine. This is right up there with Robot Chicken, which George Lucas also famously was a big fan of and did stuff with Seth Green and worked on it. This is that fun, perfect crossover between somebody who has young kids and wants to watch Lego and fun and not scary and whatever, and adults like us that are like, holy crap, that's funny. And like Lego Palpatine and all his craziness, like that's hilarious. Like this is nothing but wins across the board. And I'm excited. And I'm thankful that Lucasfilm is willing to go, you know what, let's do this. Like, let's find another way to not be so self-serious all the time. I think it's a win.
Yeah. And I think it speaks to the part that Star Wars plays in our lives, right? It's that's this, you can have humor with it, and you can and And the great thing with these shows is I can watch it with my 12-year-old and he thinks it's funny. And I think it's funny because there's a weird inside fan joke about Darth Jar Jar or whatever in there. So it's a lot of fun. So.
All right. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. And I'll let you have first crack at this one since it's your birthday show. So you get to start here. Our next question is, so Mark Hamill recently backtracked on his statements criticizing the use of Luke Skywalker in the most recent trilogy, saying he should have kept it to himself. Do you agree with his original sentiments, or do you think it was smart for him to renege on his statement?
This requires some alcohol because Mark Hamill shit the bed when he started that whole problem. And I think
glad somebody agrees.
I think it's, if he, I don't know. I'm glad it's too little too late. It's way after the fact. He set the internet on fire. He made literally millions of dollars for Star Wars Theory. He let this get out of hand and let people really get angry about the Not My Luke Skywalker stuff. And I even think bringing it up now just adds more fuel to that fire. So I'm a little disappointed in him bringing it back up. To say what he said now, honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. Because people have created their own interpretation of what he said, and it's old news, and it just keeps people angry at the Last Jedi, which is unfortunate because it's such a brilliant Star Wars story.
I would agree with that. I got you up
All right.
to 20.
Okay,
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, Hamill should have kept his mouth shut back then, and we wouldn't be in half the mess with this other side of the fandom that we would. He emboldened a lot of these mouth breathing jagoffs, and then in return, like, they just weaponized anything that he said.
Yeah,
and it just created it helped to create this a huge rift where people are like, well, see, the original Luke Skywalker saying, just like Pete said, and it's just it got really ugly, and he would not shut up. Like, he kept going. Like, every interview, he kept saying something like, sit your old ass down. Stop. Stop. He pushed me to the point where I was like, I don't like this guy. He pushed me to almost to that point where I was like, where I was almost like I'm sure not to like him. But he did backtrack, a day late and a dollar short. At least I'm glad. The one thing as an actor, I'm glad that he just did his part, like, shut up, talent, and just read the words that are on the script. So I'm glad that happened. But yeah, he did some damage.
All right. Allie, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I have nothing to add. I think I agree with everybody. I don't know why it came up again. Like, no need to backtrack. I will say my favorite thing about the story is just those small little wording. I'm not going to do it justice, but whatever the wording is about how Rian Johnson politely was like, we don't have time for the backstory that you need to work in to justify this. We don't have time for that. I thought that was a beautiful shove off.
What do you think, Nick?
I mean, it's hard not to agree with the three brilliant people that I'm sharing this screen and game with. He didn't have to do it, but it's also, I think, if we're being realistic as an artist, he has a right. And it's just a character he's had this long of a connection with. It's not like he played him one time. It's something he was connected with over a period of 40, 45 years. There is connection. It made his career. Yeah, he was in other stuff. He's an incredible Joker. His Batman the Animated Series Joker stuff. He's done a lot of amazing things, but he is Luke Skywalker. And so I know it's a very personal connection, and it's something that's very strong. So I don't fault him for having those feelings. I don't know if I even necessarily fault him for saying them out loud, because we all react to, things that are going to happen along the way. I actually am really thankful that even in this moment, he didn't have to come out and say anything about it. It could have died. People would have gotten over it eventually. It's been a dividing point in the fandom for a long time, like Chris said. But the fact that he did own up and go, hey, you know what? I actually was wrong about that. It's not necessarily going to change the dipsticks who, ruin the fun for all of us, but he is able to recognize it, and I admire that about him. So Pete poured his whiskey for that. I poured some clear alcohol out of a bottle with a skull on the top of it right here.
Do you know?
I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I don't. But it doesn't matter, because I'm cheersing Mark Hamill and the fact that he owned up to something he said that he might not have should have.
Yeah.
Hold up, Nick. Like I can't believe that you've got a like basically a vodka with a crystal skull on top. That isn't the Dan Aykroyd crystal skull vodka. Like, what are you doing here? Like, come on, man.
Again, but here we are. Let's keep moving.
All right. Well, I was looking at the points, and somehow the birthday boy like just got himself out of the gutter. So
yes,
go ahead and
I thought that was minus 20 pity points. So I was.
Oh no! I was just, I gave you a couple pity points, but then you started making some good points, and I have to give it to you.
I do tend to make sense when and I think the important thing is to remember not to go after brands that Kelsey supports, and I'll be pretty safe there. No, you know what? I will say I will take some of my time to say, and I know we have some callers coming up in a little bit and some fun things there, but it's funny. My son today asked me, he said, "How long have you been doing this podcast?" And I said, 6 years. He was like, "Wow." And his question was, "How long do you think you're going to do it for?" And I was like an hour and a half, like I usually do on Thursdays. He's like, "No, like how much longer do you think?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I think as long as we have friends and as long as we continue to have great conversations and fun conversations with great guests like Ali or whoever joins us, or the people in the chat and the people who listen to the show every week and join us every week and watch our clips on YouTube, who are part of this little goofy Star Wars community that we've built, that's as long as I'll keep doing it, and as long as it remains fun, and it has always been fun and a part of my life. We'll keep on doing this, and as long as Nick's willing to put up with it, I'll keep him along for the ride with me, or he can kick me out at some point. But no, I'm just so happy that I can create new friends and meet new friends and new people through a movie that I loved 40 something years ago. So
absolutely,
that's that.
Well, excellent, well-deserved victory for you, sir. We are about to take a commercial break. When we get back from our commercial break, we're going to get into a little bit more of the birthday celebration and madness. Before we do that, I want to thank Ali again for joining us tonight. Ali, we want to say thanks for being a part of it. You're welcome to come back anytime if you're brave enough to do so. But before we get you out of here, is there anything you'd like to plug, anything you're working on, anything else you'd like to say? We're not going to make you stick around for all the other craziness to come, but we are thankful to get to hang out with you tonight.
Sure. I mean, any of you have kids, Racerverse comes out in the late fall or late summer, early fall on Hot Wheels official YouTube. And also our adult channel is doing really well. So it's Hot Wheels Garage official on YouTube for the adult auto enthusiasts.
I want to have you back on and just do an all Hot Wheels show and Star Wars to the side and just
I'll do it.
That. Yes, we have to do that for sure. Because yeah, I mean, between the video games and the history of Hot Wheels and there's so much. It's such an amazing American icon brand. Would love to talk more with you about it.
Sure. So. Well, and Pete, you said you were a Matchbox kid too. Matchbox movie comes out next year, so maybe we could talk about that too.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
Cool.
Awesome.
That'd be great.
Y'all, thanks for having me. This was a blast.
Absolutely. We loved having you. And we are going to be back right after this with more ATG Live, and we're going to celebrate some old man who's having a birthday.
Artu? Where are you? Artu? Artu? Artu, you're on fire! R2-D2, you found a cigarette. Well, I don't think smoking is grown up at all. Because it's very dangerous. Smoking does dreadful things to your lungs and is very bad for your heart. Well, I know I don't have one, but humans do, and I think we should set a good example. Well done, R2. Oh, hello. You know smoking is bad for your health, and it isn't grown up at all. So please, don't smoke. R2, do you really think I don't have a heart?
Oh my goodness, I love that. That's so funny. And I just also want to say, all the people. I've been reading the comments down the side. It's hilarious. I'm gonna say it. It's very funny. Thank you for mocking me. You know, I'm at that. I'm at an age where it just doesn't feel. What was it, Nick? I think, or Chris? Maybe you sent it to our group chat about how, like, you know, Generation X is, you know, where we are in our 40s and 50s. We look like we're in our. I don't, but look like we're in our 30s, and our brains think they're in their teens. And
yeah, that sounds about right.
The brains of the
pretty
teens
much
is
covers
100% right. Yeah. So
well. It is, in fact, your birthday show, and we usually try to do something fun for any of us when we have birthday shows. I think back in November when it was my birthday, we had the drinking bingo show, and Arda was here to actually host that for us. So we try to do something fun. You came up with the idea and put it out on social media to let's leave some voicemails. Let's roast Pete for his birthday. So you've brought this upon yourself. I just want to say that
I did.
up front.
No, I was actually expecting to get some angry people, but who knows what we got coming in here. So
people have other things going on, but we have some fun messages. So we are going to jump into what we are calling the Happy Birthday Pete roast. And while we prepare, do you have any last words? Because I'm about to get some, videos loaded up here. I don't know if we have the right template on for where we're going to put videos, but I have a whole bunch of videos rocking and ready to go.
Well, I mean, we can go to this template here if you like. We could do this one.
Yeah, I mean, I did spend the time to make a visualizer for these so that we can kind of hit you with some, high quality production. That's what we do around here.
That's right. No, I don't have any last words. I'm just
okay,
like, in all seriousness, like I said before, totally happy and excited that I get to hang out with you nut jobs and talk about Star Wars every Thursday. So
outstanding. Well, we're gonna start with this one, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in here.
First time caller, long time listener. The only thing worse than that Solo 2 shirt is your baseball team, but at least they took Bryce Harper out of the carbonite. Hopefully they'll turn it around for you as a birthday present. I hope it's a good one.
Who could that be?
No idea who that could be. I don't know.
That voice sounds oddly familiar.
that one might have been a little bit familiar. We had to hit you with the proper way to start it off with a producer, mystery guest. Happy birthday. All right, here's our next one coming your way. This is a good one.
So this is David over at Tatooine Sons. I heard something about Pete having a birthday. Nick emailed me about it. I really didn't care that much about it. It wasn't that big a deal. I'm literally sitting here in a movie theater getting ready to watch Jurassic World, and then I remembered. So I thought, well, I would call in, pretend to wish Pete a happy birthday.
That's nice, Dave.
And my God, can you please shut up? That was the longest message I have ever heard in my life. I literally timed it. It was 45 minutes.
Seconds.
I had to sit here listening to you talk like a game show host, Pete, the whole time waiting for this thing to beep so I could wish you a happy birthday. So I don't know, since your message lasts longer, your greeting lasts longer than most of your episodes. I hope you get this in time to have it for the birthday celebration tonight. But I hope you have a happy birthday. Congratulations on whatever, it's like 947 years. And maybe we can have you on the show sometime soon.
It's funny. I didn't realize how long that recording was until very recently. And yeah, a 45-second intro is a little bit too much. So yes, thank you, David. I appreciate it very much, man.
Yeah, and it made me laugh, and it also made me realize I've never actually called our own voicemail line, so I don't even know what your rambling nonsense is.
Oh,
it's clearly there.
It is so long. He's not wrong. Like, I know the worst part is that I had a whole bit planned, and I had to call it twice because my YouTube crapped out on me, and I was just like, this is painful.
Like, I can't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, we've got another one. This is going to be from someone I think you're familiar with.
Hey, fellas, this is Matthew Neenan. Hey, happy birthday, Pete. You're getting old when the birthday candles cost more than the cake. When Pete was in school, he's so old that they didn't have history. He pees four times a night, and he gets up for 2 times. All right. Anyway, I know It sucks, but growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. So have a great
Nice.
birthday, Pete. Talk to you later.
Love
Bye.
it. Thank you,
It's a
Matt.
great one.
Thank you for the sash, which I will also be wearing on Saturday as well, the actual birthday day. That's hilarious.
That's a good one. We have another caller who has called in. We've got some good family connections. We've got some
Hi,
various
Pete.
messages.
This is Benny Relp, wishing you a very happy 65th birthday. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. 60th birthday? I'm sorry, I put a couple of extra years on there for you. Why don't you tell us about the time your name appeared on the scoreboard at Yankee Stadium with a Star Wars reference? Thanks. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Well, I'm going to echo what Benny said. Why don't you tell us about that, Pete?
So I think it was my 30th birthday. Went to Yankee Stadium, and my family surprised me by just like, we got to our seats and I was like, oh, what's Mike doing here? And then another friend of mine showed up, and there were like about 12 of my friends, 10 to 12 of my friends who they apparently all bought tickets together for the game. We were at the upper deck, so it was kind of cool just hanging out. And then when they put up the birthday messages, the message was happy birthday, Pete, not even Star Wars or the Force can keep you young or something like that. So I named the scoreboard at Yankee Stadium for my birthday one year. So yes, that was pretty cool. That was really cool.
That is very cool. Well, we're going to hit this one next. Like I said, we do have some family connections in here, and I believe this is from the lovely Mrs. Fletzer.
Oh, no.
Hi, Pete. It's your wife, Melissa. I'm just calling to wish you a very happy 55th birthday. I do have to say that I feel bad for Nick because he has to spend so much time with you. But, I mean, it's okay. If it were any other person in this world, I'm so happy it's Nick, because I think I've become the podcast widow some days. I've lost you to the Force. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. Live long.
Star Trek.
Oh. I erased that. Just cut that out. All right. God bless. God bless. Bye.
Oh man, I honestly, and I'm gonna now have to go probably wake her up after we're done and ask, does she know that Live Long that's not Star Wars? That's very funny.
Well, and I have to also add on, my 9-year-old was out here while I was plugging that one into the video template that I made for these little, video clips.
Yeah.
And when it got done, she looked at me and she goes, Dad, it sounds like she's kind of roasting you more than me.
That's true. That is true. That's funny.
Well, we're going to keep the family trend rolling because we have another one for you that is family connected.
Hey guys, it's me, Lily, Pete's daughter. Happy birthday, Dad. Kind of weird that you're 55 and you still have a Star Wars podcast. I think you're a little old for that, but you do you, I guess. And Nick, my apologies that you have to put up with my dad every week. It probably gets annoying, but it's fine. Anyway, hope you have the best birthday, Dad. And also, tune in because we are doing a new podcast episode on Deadass.
Yes.
Anyway, bye, guys.
That's the best part of this. New Deadass podcast. Go to your podcast feeds, download the Deadass podcast. It's Pete and Lily talking about things where you've got a Gen X and a whatever Lily is.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So
and
much
we just literally just recorded one today. She was like, I want to record a podcast today. So ran her into the studio here and we got one done. So look for one this weekend.
Is your family cooler than you? Like, because it kind of feels that way.
It's quite possible. Yeah. But you know what I love about that is
I've met his family. The answer is yes.
Okay.
She knew to totally on her own there. She knew to always be promoting. Always, yep. When you get that chance, if you're going to be speaking to more than 2 people, promote, baby, promote.
Talk about what you're doing. Keep you going. Absolutely. We've got another one. This is from a longtime friend, fellow New Jersey resident. Pete, I believe you'll know this young man. If I can hit the button right.
Happy birthday, Pete.
Yes.
Listen, I just wanted to call and let you know about now that you are, double nickels at age of 55, some of the discounts that you're eligible for now.
That's
Now,
great.
most chain restaurants start their senior discounts at age 55, so you're able to, go to Chili's and have yourself a nice dinner for your early birds. Hotels, we are in New Jersey, so any Caesars property in Atlantic City, you can go down there and hit your slots and sit there playing slot machines for hours like all the other people your age. Cruise lines, very popular with the senior citizen crowd, and now you're eligible for discounts on those. Rental cars, a lot of rental car companies, for when you fly down to Florida to get onto your cruise ship. Walgreens, now that you're getting to be that age that you need a lot of, medications, your vitamins, your Geritol, etc. The first Tuesday of every month, everyone over 55 gets 20% off all of their purchases.
I'm actually going to use that.
Cell phone plan, surprisingly. So now
should be
you can
taking
get a
notes.
discount on your cell phone plan for your age, and you also now can get yourself that nice jitterbug phone that is designed for people of your age.
4
Once again,
buttons.
happy birthday, Pete. I'm happy to call you my friend, and I'm even happier to know that you are a full 10 years older than I am. So happy birthday, dude, and I hope you have a great one. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, that's really funny. I have to, if those discounts are real, I'm doing them. I don't care. I'm not proud.
later tonight, Pete's going to replay this on YouTube with a pen and a notepad,
and
writing
a
every one of these down.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, we've got a couple more of these, and then we have another birthday surprise for you. So we are going to drop this message. This came from us to us from a galaxy far, far away.
All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Jojo Binks. Mr. here all the way from Gungan City to wish Pete a very happy birthday. I hear you and Cara Dune have angry words. How rude. She's a bad egg. Anyways, happy birthday from Mr. humble servant, Jar Jar Binks.
Who was that?
Pete. It was Jar Jar Binks.
It was Jar Jar. Come on, man.
It was Jar Jar. Come on.
I feel
You know
bad
better.
about dipping him in my glass now at this point.
It's his month. He knew this was the time to call. He's been lying in wait for the
July
right
Jar
perfect
Binks.
opportunity, and this was it. July Jar
That's
Binks.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
So thank you, Jar Jar, from beaming that all the way across the holonet to us. We have one more. This one, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than Pete, happy birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today, not for a Jedi council, but for something far more sacred. The ancient ritual of roasting a man who's somehow older than Yoda, yet more obsessed with lightsabers than a 12-year-old at Comic-Con. That's right. Happy birthday, Pete, our own personal Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's actually old enough to have seen every single Star Wars movie in theaters, which means that he has been disappointed a lot. And that look in his face, that look in his eyes, it's not wisdom. No, it's trauma from seeing The Phantom Menace. That's right. This is a man who refers to a prostate exam as the Sith probing his dark side. A man who, if he had the Force, would only use it to mix Metamucil magically while he sat down watching McClintock or Gunsmoke or Kojak. Those are old shows, just so everybody gets the joke. Every year for Halloween, Pete dresses up like Darth Vader, but only because his breathing already sounds like someone sprinting up a flight of stairs. In all seriousness, though, I love you, Pete. You're the best. And I hope that for your birthday, you get what we all want, and that is a live stream video of Star Wars Theory getting diarrheaed on. Love you, buddy.
Wow. Corey, the buttercream dream is always going to bring all the heat. That's what happens when you ask a stand-up comedian to roast you for your birthday.
I feel like Pete just got roasted harder than Anakin. That was crazy.
Well played. Oh my god, that was great. Everybody who called,
hits
that was awesome.
the phone calls, the voicemails. We have one more birthday present, Pete, and this is a special one. We built ATGLive, going on almost 2 years ago now, kind of around the PTI model. You get through, go through the news stories, you have a guest on. They call it 5 good minutes. So we are here tonight. I'm excited to give you, as a birthday present from me and Chris and Kelsey, you get 5 good minutes with our favorite Star Wars conspiracy theorist,
nice,
Mr. Eric Elliott.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Eric, what's up?
How's it going? Perfect Star Wars quote to use in this occasion is, "Look how old you've become."
Yes, that's great.
It feels weird to just have only us on screen. It's been a while. It's been at least a year since that's happened.
I think so, and I think this will make great honest to Claude videos for future opportunities, right?
Yeah, because I love splicing and making myself look absolutely insane and having everyone be like, "Oh my gosh, what is wrong with Eric?"
So what's been up with you, Eric? I know it's my birthday this week, but I have to ask, we haven't done a lot of call-ins lately, so I need to know what's going on with you, man.
Well, I'm busy with work, but who wants to talk about that? I've been working on a YouTube video. We're going to be parroting a very famous YouTuber. No, it's not Star Wars Theory.
Okay.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
That's all right.
But it is a different bald person. Different, another one with millions of subscribers. I'm having a lot of fun with that. It should, hopefully I'm going to get done by this weekend because I'm in the home stretch. I'm in, nothing really crazy about Star Wars, really jumping out at me. I just have while I'm talking, I Revenge of Sith just in the background, no volume, because why not? I've been waiting a while to actually have the call be answered. I was very much enjoying the call, the messages that were being received.
Yes, those were a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, of course, speaking of familial connections, I'm your unofficial black nephew.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in fact, that's how I often refer to you, as my unofficial black nephew.
I'm glad that I'm able to find y'all in this space.
Yeah.
Not too many problems. Even when I get cut off for going, way off into the wilderness about incest or some shit like that. I'm still able to come back.
You have brought us some very unique points of view, but though, this is when I said before, and I was totally serious. It's great that I'm able to meet. Where else would I meet you? Right? Probably nowhere. Right? So it's this opportunity to meet new and people who have different perspectives and different obsessions with the Zillow beast, perhaps. So it's it's nice to have met you, and I'm glad that you're part of this. And it almost looks like you're wearing a shirt that you could be on Narkina 5 and not. It's okay.
I have a question for you, Pete.
Sure.
Is there ever a time since you've met me that you'll just wake up and maybe use the bathroom at night and go back and you're just what is up with Eric and the Zillow beast? I still don't get it.
Well, I can definitely tell you I don't think of you at all in the bathroom. That's number one. Number two.
Thank you for that phrasing of the way you put that.
Number two.
Hold on, time out. You can't say I didn't think about you in the bathroom and then immediately follow it up with number 2. Sorry.
True. That is true. Okay. But I in all honesty, I love the perspective. I love somebody's different thinking. So, that's what makes Star Wars great, right? That's what makes this community great. So I'm glad, again, not thinking too much about you, just enough to remember you. But, glad that I'm glad you popped on the show tonight too, because we have not done the calls in a while. So I'm glad you
Thank you
came
for
back.
having me. Of course, I'll hit you up about that video when it comes out. I'm still waiting on that C-3PO as a monster sticker.
You are right. I need to get that out the door. I will get that out the door for you. Yes.
Once again, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I hope you can live as long as possible, because like I think you are a good force in the Star Wars YouTube sphere.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, and I appreciate what you're doing as well for the fandom too. So,
Communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
yes, that was
Yeah,
good.
buddy.
Yeah. Well,
you can't
hey,
have a birthday unless you're celebrated by Eric, honest to Claude Elliott.
No kidding.
I mean, it's a part of the fabric of the show, what we do.
Well, there's
amazing
a handful of people who have been around since the beginning of this show and further. You got Matt from Enid, of course. And by the way, Matt, I haven't been able to say it. Congrats to OKC. You have Honest to Claude. You got Brian Fantasy. You got a couple people, who just have always been there. And so it's always just great to talk to those folks.
Did I miss this? Did Eric give you a rap name for your birthday?
No, not a new one. No, I think.
Should we? Is he still? Let's bring him. Bring it back in. Let's get a. You in the chat,
what
bro?
was your? Oh, you were Pete Rock.
So
Pete
evil.
Rock was your other.
I think I'm
No.
Pete Rock is his other
There's
rap
so
name.
many more. There's so
Shut
many
up,
more.
Chris. This show's gone 26 minutes longer than it was supposed to.
I'm just trying to make things festive. God.
Just trying to make things festive.
Oh my.
I will listen
Beat
to
me,
my own
beat me
advice.
to the punch. Beat me to the punch.
Shut the f up.
All right.
All right.
We have
All
had
right.
so much fun
Everybody get
tonight.
it together.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody calm down. We have had a lot of fun tonight.
Come on, birthday boy.
Uh-oh.
We can be crazy if we want to.
That's
It's a
true.
party.
That's right.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I
It
want
is
to.
the party.
There's,
And he can go to bed early if he
there's
wants
that
to.
age.
Yep, there it is. We have had a ton of fun tonight.
Yes.
So thankful to Allie Sterling for hanging out with us, putting up with our nonsense, certainly on a birthday show. Very thankful for her conversation. And
Absolutely.
we're excited to have her back. We're going to talk about Hot Wheels. We're going to talk about the Matchbox movie. Lots of good stuff there. Chris, Kelsey, we're going to wrap this up. I think the only way that makes sense. Any final words in the form of a toast, a thank you, and anything for Pete, a birthday wish? Chris, you're up first.
Pete,
Yes.
you're old.
Thank you, Chris.
And many more olds.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Kelsey, you're up.
All right. Well, I would just like to say, like, I actually genuinely love being a part of this. So thank you so much for bringing me aboard. This is my first birthday show with you. So hopefully we get many more together. And I hope you have a great birthday on Saturday.
Thank you, Kelsey. No, I can't tell you how happy we are that you are a part of the show now. It's so great to have you. So,
Well, thank you. Love being here.
Outstanding. And I am just going to add, I mean, the only person I text more than my wife, not more than my wife, as much as my wife, or just right behind my wife, 1A, 1B. Laura, you were watching earlier. You might be still.
I guarantee I text you more than my wife.
Yeah, my 9-year-old actually just
Don't admit that on here. God.
She knows it.
She gave up.
Every time my phone dings, she's like, "Was it Nick?" I'm like,
over the
Yep,
course
it's Nick.
of Pete, you've been doing Around the Galaxy for 6 years. I've done Podcast of the Wheels, I think 8 now.
Yep.
The opportunity to get to connect years ago, honestly, it was the hugest deal for me to be on Around the Galaxy because I found your show, started listening to it, loved what you did. And I kind of pushed because I've told this story before. At the end of early Around the Galaxy episodes, Pete would say, if you or someone you know should be a guest on this show, send us a message, let us know. And I sent 2 or 3 messages. I was like, dude, I love Star Wars. I have a podcast. And I was kind of that guy that was like, come on, man, just talk to me. I think you'll like me. We'll be friends. It'll be fine. And he's like, sure, let's do an episode. And I wore him down. And I was so pumped. I borrowed a computer from somebody else because I was worried my internet was going to be crap. Like, it was this whole thing. And I had been doing Podcasts of the Wheels already, but we did that. We stayed in touch, just kind of slowly over the course of time as you get to know people. And the more we talked and the more we got to be friends, it was like, hey, we kind of do the same thing. Like, let's team up, let's work together.
Yep.
And Pete has truly become one of my best friends. I talk to Pete every day. We talk about life. We talk about things outside of Star Wars, surprisingly enough. And so I'm truly thankful for you. I'm excited that you're having a 55th birthday. And I'm going to raise another shot of a mysterious clear liquid from a bottle with a skull on top of it. I don't know what it was. I said I think
you're not dead yet.
It actually might be white rum. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's alcohol, and I'm out of bourbon, which is kind of my calling card, which is weird. So, to you, my friend, I'm so thankful for you, and I'm excited to wish you another happy birthday.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And kind of like around the galaxy, last word goes to you, sir. We're about to get out of here. We're going to wrap this up. Anything else you want to say, plug, talk about?
No, I'm just happy again to be able to do this every week with the 4 people on the screen here, and Nick. Yeah, we have absolutely. It's weird. I think pandemic sort of pushed that sort of need to talk to other people, and we just hit it off, and it's been it's great. I mean, it's weird that you would call somebody one of your best friends and you've only seen them in person 2 or 3 times. So But this has gone great. And again, having Kelsey and Chris back in the fold, and Kelsey joining us, this show has got no place to go but up, and I'm really excited about where we're going. So with that said, what do we have? We have a guest next week, right? We
do. Hold on. Phil, 5 more seconds while I look that up, because you're right, we do.
You can talk about your bad baseball team. I mean, the Tigers are so much better.
We don't have to. Hey, actually, I do want to talk about baseball. Hold on, time out. Yes, we do.
You can't touch me with Scooby, so I'm sorry.
Full disclosure, we have somebody potentially for next week. It's not confirmed yet, so I don't want to there yet.
Got it.
But if we can come back to baseball for a hot second, I saw it popped up on ESPN. The All-Star game is where this year? That's right. It's in Atlanta.
Okay. So you'll have some good people playing in the stadium for once. That's great.
The home run derby. This is my favorite part. And we were watching Jeopardy before I came out here, because our family is a hardcore Let's Watch Jeopardy family. The home run derby. They are doing home run derby jerseys for the derby and the game this year, which they had gone away from for a while.
Oh, that's cool.
They went to just team jerseys and hats and that kind of stuff. But because the All-Star game is on July 14th and July 15th, that is 7/14 and 7/15. That is Babe Ruth's home run number and Hank Aaron's home run number.
Wow, that's cool.
And that being broken in Atlanta. So we have those for jerseys. And I was really opposed. Not really opposed. I was frustrated that Ronald Acuna was going to be in the home run derby, because I need Ronnie to stay healthy, because I need the Braves to climb back into this thing. And I thought this is going to be the thing where, like, he gets hit in the foot and he's out again. It's like something dumb is going to happen during the All-Star break, and we don't want that. But there's a great ESPN article that came out today about the history, and CC Sabathia, who is an associate or an assistant to the commissioner, and like how this was kind of his idea to honor 7/14, 7/15 with Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth and the home run record. It's really cool. And I love that baseball is still doing that kind of stuff. You know, there's going to be, marketing and promo, and, this is a business, but I love that the history of baseball still lives and still exists in the middle of all the things that are going on. And I love, and Benny chiming in right there, home run derby, batting practice with rules. It's fine. I float in and out of the home run derby, but I've already put calendar reminders in my phone for everything All-Star game weekend.
Yeah,
because I do love baseball, and it's something that I want to watch. So that's all.
It's
and the
true.
Phillies suck. Go ahead.
No, the Phillies. I wish you could say that, but they're in first
I
place.
Can't. You're right.
Game and a half.
I didn't mean to wind you guys up. My bad.
No, that's quite all right.
Thanks, Kelsey.
But if our little baseball bet, and so basically we have a 3-team division made up of the Tigers, the Phillies, and the Braves. And the Tigers would be in first place at 54 and 34, and the Phillies would be in second place at 51 and 36, which is 2.5 games out. And the Braves would be 14 games out. Either way, that's $26 from Nick. That's $5 from me. That's a $31 Star Wars gift of our choice to Kelsey if we ended today. But we're not ending today. We still have the whole summer to go. Anything can happen. That's the great thing about baseball. And that's the great thing about Star Wars. Anything can happen. And yes, we keep up with the news. And as other people are like, what can we do? There's nothing to talk about. Chris, is there always Star Wars to talk about?
Like, yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So join us every Thursday night. If you're listening on the audio version, thank you so much for checking us out here. We will continue to put this up here for you, and we hope that you will join us live next Thursday when we have a mystery guest, because we haven't confirmed them, but we're pretty sure they're joining us, and we don't want to say it just yet. Nick, as we say all the time, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.